Hi, thanks as always for watching our videos. Today we're going to be talking about foot drop after a hip surgery of some kind that you may have had. So a lot of times what happens is if there is a foot drop and it's related to a hip surgery of some kind, there is the involvement of the sciatic nerve. So the sciatic nerve is the thickest nerve in the body, and it comes from the lumbar and sacral aspects of your spine, which is just the lower aspects of your spine. If you can imagine, you'll hear terms like L4, L5, S1, S2, right? When people say that, they are referring to lumbar and sacral levels of your spine. So, for example, if you were going to put your fingers, your thumbs, right on top of your hip bones, okay, the way we describe it in our field of orthotics is it's just on top of the hip bone. It might be where you tickle a little kid, right? That is L3, for example. So from there, you can deduce, well, if that's L3, we got to go down a couple levels, and then we start to get where the sciatic nerve is branching off. Now, obviously, your spinal levels are not right at your hip bone, but if you drew a line into the center of your spine and started going downward from there, that's what I'm referring to. So if you can follow me along on that, L4, L5 would be below L3. So L3, L4, L5, S1, etc. down. That is where your sciatic nerve branches from. Those are nerve roots, and they form the sciatic nerve. Now the sciatic nerve travels down your hip. So now you can see how things might get more complicated, right? So if you have a hip surgery of some kind, now this is not very common, but it is a complication of some surgeries that have to do with the hip. So if that nerve is compressed or something happens, an injury to that nerve during the hip surgery for some reason, that can affect everything downstream from there. So the sciatic nerve is also connected to other nerves down in your lower leg that help to hold up your foot. And that's how you can get foot drop after a hip surgery. You might not think right at first that it's all tied in together, but it is. It can be. Now, sometimes those kinds of injuries can be like a wait and see situation where you might not have to do anything about it. Your injury might resolve itself, especially within the first 7 months, I think it is, that you see a lot of return, and we hope for the best in that situation, basically. And if that is not the answer for you, you can also get physical therapy, maybe occupational therapy to help you with your daily tasks and how to kind of manage foot drop from that perspective. But you can also think about an AFO. This is something that goes directly to the source of foot drop. Now, AFOs are something that are taught in medical schools all across the world, and extremely thin. It's like 2 or 3 quarters stacked on top of each other, okay? As a thin layer of plastic, which helps promote good angles for you when you walk. And that's needed a lot when you have a foot drop. You don't always want to be hiking your hip per se. People can get tendonitis from that, for example, in their hip if you do that long enough. It might be a temporary solution, but it's not a long-term thing you always want to perform just to get from point A to point B. So hip surgeries, you know, the doctor never wants you to have a complication from it, but sometimes it can happen, and it can happen usually it happens to the sciatic nerve, which comes from your lower back, your lumbar and sacral spine, and that sciatic nerve travels from the spine through the hip area, posteriorly in your thigh, and that can branch off at about the knee level into other nerves that innervate the muscles that dorsiflex the foot, which means bringing them up. Now, I hope this information helped you on some level. Please do check out our other videos, like, comment, please subscribe to our videos. We talk a lot about foot drop, talk a lot about AFOs, and we talk a lot about fall prevention, and it is all because we're trying to help you with this. You can sign up for our free mini course if you wish, or we have a full course also that talks a lot about foot drop, fall prevention, AFOs, all of that from various medical professionals that all come together for you and teach you about it as well. It won't just be me, although I would like to think you could learn a lot from me. There's other people on board. We have basically anyone you can think of, a physical therapist, occupational therapist. There is doctors, there's doctors of medical science, there's myself, occupational therapy. Everybody that usually treats foot drop is going to be in that series. So It's up to you how you want to do that. I'm not here to pressure you to do that too much, but do check out the description section of this video if you want to learn more about the free mini course or if you want to learn more about the full course. But anyways, I hope this information helped you about hip surgeries and some of the complications that do happen because of that, and foot drop is one of those complications that can occur from a hip surgery. Thanks for watching.